Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Betty, and I'm here back with the Dream Team this week. So today we're going to be talking about situations in specific businesses that have been brought in to each of us with the clientele. And the idea is for you to just really take some note on what you can be doing differently when you talk to the specialists and the individuals that you have in your business board of directors. Every business should have a board of directors for every part of your business. And these ladies that we're going to be talking to this morning are part of business's board of directors informally, because these are the people that you go to for advice. These are the people that you go to get insight, and you seek them for their expertise in your type of business. So why don't we go ahead and get started without further ado? Let me go to Amanda first. Amanda, why don't you tell us about a situation that you had in your business, what happened, what you did, and what the results were?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been thinking a lot about this because it's been so recent. We keep introducing new technology. That is the thing that keeps coming, especially I know a lot of our dream team works with major corporations, big operations, and I work with a lot of small businesses, either mom and pop, blue collar, solopreneurs, or just single individuals. And they are doing all the things. They are wearing all the hats, and the things that are going to make them successful are, not hiring 20 people to do all the things. It's leveraging the technologies that are available to help them multiply themselves. So, a lot of people that I talk to are afraid of AI. They don't know what it is. They don't know how to use it. And most people assume it is just ChatGPT. And that is so far from the case that we're dealing with right now. So what we have been able to do and to introduce into these businesses is the ability to scale their operation just by utilizing technology. One example, I have a roofer and a lot of skilled trade providers actually. You know what happens is somebody does a Google search for a roofer in their area. They make a phone call. If they don't answer the phone, guess what happens? They just call the next one on the list. So what we do is we implement an AI voice agent who answers that call just like a human, has all the information about this company, can answer all of their questions about insurance, can schedule the appointment for the roofer to either call them back or come out to look at their roof. It immediately, once they get off the call, has all their information. It texts them a confirmation that says, hey, just want to confirm I've got all your information. Rob the roofer is going to call you back around this time, and he's going to come take a look at your roof at this address. The roofer gets everything in a text message in his database so that that is done without him ever having to answer a call. And that can be done over and over again. I've got other coaches, consultants that are having face-to-face Zooms just like this. And what happens is, they need to be out prospecting and getting new clients, but then they're also talking to their clients. So how do we automate that, lead generation for them? We've got a new AI tool that we're using with our clients on LinkedIn that is a video of them talking to, it's not a cold out, it's a cold outreach with AI of a video scrolling through that prospect's profile with them talking about it, saying, I would love to connect with you. Here's my calendar link. Let's chat. And they don't have to do anything. So it's just, if you don't know the technology, if you just aren't aware of it, you're not able to use it and you're not able to access it to grow your business. So working with a team that can not only help you implement it, but show you how to use it and then put it to work in the background, set it and forget it so that your calendar is just appointment after appointment after appointment without you having to do that prospecting work, then your business is just going to be that much more successful. And that's the type of work that people get scared of because they don't know how to do it. Hire someone to do it for you. That is the
I
beauty.
love that. Oh
technology.
my gosh. So set it and forget it. I've done the audio because with a rental property, I got those texts. I thought it was them. I didn't even realize that it was AI that was doing it. I've not seen the video though. I want to see the video. So hey, guess what? I get to call you now. So there we
Yes.
go. Okay, so let's go to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, what about you? Thank you so much, Amanda. I love that. I actually learned something new this morning. I always
Yeah.
learn with all of you. Okay, Elizabeth, what about you?
Hello, this is Elizabeth from Anura Financials. And similar to what Amanda was describing in terms of technology, I've been thinking about, all right, how does an entrepreneur, how does an established importer and exporter, which is my niche expertise, uh, deal with all of the volatility in the market that happens when things like tariffs get introduced into the mix, and trying to determine, all right, so what am I going to do now? If all of my stuff is ordered today, I'm not going to get it for 60 to 90 days. When is that tariff going to come into place, and how is that going to impact the original contract that I set in place with my client that is not going to get their goods for 90 days and that the tariff hits somewhere in between? All of a sudden, my margins are wiped out. So how does an importer deal with that kind of volatility? And one of the things that we've seen across a number of clients is a couple of things. Um, Yes, technology is important because you need to understand your inventory levels of what you have in stock here today versus what is coming on the water and when it's going to be delivered to your end client. Okay, that's great if you have a warehouse, but what if you are just a distributor and you have no warehouse? Everything is drop shipped. What are some of the tools you can think of for those? So for them, diversification of their supplier mix is super, super important. You don't wait until that tariff hits. You make sure that part of your business model includes a diversification of suppliers so that you can maneuver your way around where you source to ensure you protect that margin. Okay, great. But what happens when the tariffs hits everyone? If it hits everyone, how do you maneuver through all of those? Well, you could establish yourself when you're writing your contracts with your customers to establish a rider that states this is the cost of the goods. However, if there are import duties that are put into place, we will either share that or you will pay that or have it as an additional rider as incremental cost that will be added onto the bill once the goods are finally arrived. And that's how you mitigate some of the volatility on the loss of margin. So these are just a couple of examples of how one can proactively make sure that as you're building your business, as you're growing your business and you're expanding, that you protect yourselves from this kind of volatility in the market because it does happen. Does it happen all the time? No. But does it happen? It absolutely does. So it's better to be prepared and have a plan in place to address it than reacting to it at the last minute because there will then be periods of losses while you're maneuvering and trying to fix. So those are my little tidbits for today.
Oh, that's
So
amazing. I
really
love
appreciate.
that because what you're doing here is you are spreading the risk. Instead of having the risk only be on you and taking that ownership, you're spreading it with your client. And these are things that we can't control. So, what if not just the tariffs? What if there is a condition that is out of your control? A terrain, something happened with the terrain and the agriculture, the whatever it is that they're shipping back and forth doesn't happen. It can be used in so many different ways. And this is and Elizabeth, you are well known in your industry for really mitigating the risk. And I love that too. So thank you so much. So it's 7:55. I'm just going to give you one thing that I did for one client really quickly. And this had to do with technology, Amanda, following through on your technology. This was a client that went from $350 million to $900 million in revenue in a matter of 90 days. This is how he did it. He was doing everything manually. And I said, hey, do you have a CRM system? And do you have anybody that's actually, because he does high end, he buys and sells businesses and in specifically in a specific industry. And so I said, well, you probably want to get somebody that actually makes the phone calls for you. This is a very high-end ticket item, multi-million-dollar ticket item. And he didn't have a CRM system. He was just doing it all manually. So we got him a CRM system. He started getting somebody that really understood the business, understood the industry, and was able to bring in the type of clientele that he needed for his type of industry. 300 million to 900 million in a matter of 90 days. It was the craziest thing. So anyway, with that, so we have 3 big pieces of knowledge. So I love the AI on phone calls. And in fact, I'm gonna call you, Amanda. And the AI video, I love because it's a lot more personalized. And then sharing the wealth, right? So sharing the risk with the client under with circumstances that are out of your control. And then really understanding what your business model is and what tools do you have available to you so that you can maximize your time. So the whole idea is create balance in your life. You don't want to be working 80-hour weeks. You want to be working 40, 30, 20-hour weeks and still get done what you need to get done. So this is your dream team again. Thank you so much for being with us. And thank you, ladies, for adding so much value to each other as well as to our clients.